shelve all the books in the library a few months ago?
Spike would be good at TV since.
Yes, but that was because we needed to. This is just because I want to.
Considering what happens later, how fucking convenient.
I call it my booksortation. 3 uninterrupted days of reorganizing books. Can you think of anything more relaxing?
Well, claw massages, back rubs, bubble baths.
Spike would be good at TV since. Again. Jesus Christ, we are only 20 seconds into the episode. Also, I could think of like 10 different things that would be infinitely more relaxing than reshelving books for 3 days straight. Might I suggest, I don't know, literally taking a break and recollect your character traits? Surely need that after this shit show of an episode. Beach day, perhaps? Wait, no, we don't need a beach day episode. Board game? Just don't go overboard like Starlight did and we'll be fine. Card game?
I've even devised a better system for organizing them. It decreases the amount of time it takes to find a book you're looking for by nearly 3/4 of a second.
Whoa, that much?
Spike is still good at TV Sims. I feel like the fact that I have to make that sin 3 times within 30 seconds of the episode really paints the picture of how stupid Twilight's acting. Already.
Why, there must be at least 20,000 books to organize.
Oh, hi, Alicious. Why is this like the only time they're shown in this season? Oh. Okay, maybe not. My point still stands though, as according to the wiki, this is literally the last appearance. Every appearance past this point is in a photo.
Best long weekend ever!
I could think of many things that could be called the best long weekend ever. Reshelving books is not one of them. Maybe consider spending time with your friends instead? In which, spoiler alert, she will deeply regret not doing that.
I'm sure we can make some time for a claw massage and a back rub too.
Yes! Best long weekend ever!
Wow, way to artificially make him stay with you. Just in case you forgot, she's a princess. That will be aggressively shoved in your mind constantly near the end. Better remember that.
Whoa! That strange yellow orb in the sky! What is that?
All right. So it's been a little while since we've seen the sun.
I feel like that scene definitely says something.
A little while? We've been in that library for 3 straight days!
Yes, but they were 3 very productive days.
Were they 3 necessary days? Well, considering the fact the books didn't even need to be reshelved, I wouldn't say so.
Hey, you promised a claw massage? I'm getting a claw massage.
It's not like we missed anything.
Words spoken before absolute tragedy.
Hello, Twilight.
Hi, Spike.
Hi, Rainbow Dash. Good to see you, Discord.
Did you rehearse before you found us?
This isn't a sin, but I've just discovered cutie marks aren't supposed to show from this angle. Oops.
You could say it was hysterical.
Sneaky snake.
Just snaking around.
That one, Discord!
It is?
Kind of an inside joke from this weekend. You wouldn't really get it unless you were there.
How very coincidental that she wasn't there. Discord is addicted to Spike. I don't think I need to explain this anymore.
Since when have Rainbow Dash and Discord had inside jokes?
Since sometime in the last 3 days, I guess.
Spike is still good at TV Sims.
Hey, no pony made you join me on my booksortation.
You quite literally gave him an incentive for joining you, you fucking hypocrite. Also, I don't know if it's just me, but that whole conversation feels kinda disconnected. Twilight didn't really have a reason to say.
No pony made you join me on my booksorcation.
Spike was just speaking the truth. And the fact that he even says,
I'm joking!
doesn't help.
Twilight, you've returned from your book sorting sabbatical. All that organizing has done wonders for your complexion.
This is the first time we see Rarity in this episode, and I already feel compelled to make a gay joke. I refuse, however. I've got better standards than to stoop down to such a critically bad level again.
Thanks. It was very relaxing.
Still good at TV Sims.
And we were able to clear a shelf for those old-fashioned books you wanted to donate.
Oh, they're not old, darling. They're vintage. I've even included my favorites by former cancel art designer to the stars, Rococo Frou-Frou.
Oh, I love her!
Him.
Both.
Twilight, this makes twice I'm seeing you in one day. Aren't I lucky?
I don't exactly see what's lucky about that. Well, it isn't exactly a pony that's hard to find. Also, I don't exactly know where to put this in, so bear with me here. So later in the episode, Discord says he intentionally told every pony not to invite Twilight in order to not distract their bookstorecation, in which I seriously can't tell if that's flawed reasoning or not, but my point is, if this was on his mind throughout the whole episode, then why does he keep making this face directed to Twilight constantly throughout the episode? Like, seriously, are you trying to make Twilight suspicious? Because that's how you make Twilight suspicious. Fuck's sake, man.
How was your book sortation?
It was good.
Orange, you glad you did it?
One cent for every orange pun in this part. Okay, Rarity, you're laughing entirely too much. It is not that funny. Or, I don't know, maybe I don't get it since I wasn't there.
You do seem to be turning a shade of orange.
I had to tell someone, in real life, who knows I like MLP and doesn't like it themselves, that this is a real frame from a real episode of the show. I don't think 1 cent is enough for this part.
Well, let me try and paint her a picture, dearest.
Dearest?
Spike has no reason to be upset over that line.
You see, we were all at Sweet Apple Acres, and I ended up turning the trees into the most... Oh, who am I kidding?
I think that scene alone explains why I love Discord. What is funny about that? Oh wow, they transitioned to a bucket of oranges. How funny.
Rainbow Dash bonding with Discord. Rarity finding something he did genuinely funny? Must have been some weekend.
Some pony sorry she missed it?
Of course not.
Actual bullshit. More on this later.
And then Applejack said, peanut butter hoof? Yuck, not even with jelly.
This scene alone deserves a sin. Does every pony have the sense of humor of a 5-year-old today? Applejack's cutie milk is missing.
I guess that's funny.
No, it isn't.
Well, seems this has become quite the sticky situation.
I don't think peanut butter's meant to be that sticky.
Does some pony need a huggy wuggy?
Stop it! Genuinely, there is no way in hell they should have gotten away with that. Also, why can horns do that? Considering how they're usually, not flexible, I would imagine that hurts. A lot.
I am not glum. I'm glad you all had such a good time together. Having inside jokes can really create a lasting bond between friends.
You say you're glad, yet you sounded mad throughout that entire sentence.
I'm sure I had just as much fun as the rest of you. I can't believe I missed out on all that bonding.
Again, that's your fault.
I knew it! You are jealous!
Spike, I am the princess of friendship. I don't get jealous.
Words absolutely cannot describe how much I fucking despise this line. No, Twilight Sparkle, your societal role as the princess of friendship does not exempt your feelings of jealousy, which not even you could admit you had, and by far extension, it does not excuse your shade of bullshitty and unjustified actions towards your friends, who, and I will stress this point again later, did not do anything wrong in any way, shape, or form. What I hate even more is that it's Spike that has to point out to Twilight that she's jealous. She doesn't even recognize her own feelings. I still have more to say about this, but I'm gonna wait until the ending to say it. But for now...
I'm sorry I missed out because sharing that experience would have helped me with my princess of friendship duties.
God, go fuck off with that shit.
Come again?
If our friends could enjoy 3 full days with Discord that much, it must have something to do with the specific things they did together. If we could find out what those things were, it could be a real breakthrough in the science of friendship.
I guess so.
Spike, don't fucking encourage that shit. Twilight is addicted to Spike's stomach.
You thought our book sortation was fun? This is gonna be even better.
Still good at TV sins.
I wouldn't have asked you here if it wasn't important.
Irony.
I love important
want to know how these funny moments you shared came to pass. I can use this data to help advance friendships all over Equestria.
Well, I like the sound of that.
Oh, yeah.
Stop fucking encouraging her bullshit.
It started when we were helping Granny Smith with her garden.
I reckon you mean my sister Apple Bloom.
All your apples look the same. And then Rainbow Dash saw a snake.
I think it was a garden hose.
It was a hose snake.
Hose snake.
And it...
Rainbow's a dick to Pinky. Actually, no, she's probably fine. Still a dick, though.
And it chased after us.
What, did Discord use its magic on the object? If not, then that would make no sense if it was a stick or a hose.
We literally trotted for our lives. Isn't that hilarious?
No.
Ooh, are you suggesting time travel?
Pinky is far too aware.
Absolutely not. Time travel is not something to be messed with.
It is actually insane how critically bullshit that line becomes after only watching 3 episodes later. Twilight, you're absolutely full of shit.
Are you sure it was this table?
Does it really matter?
When it comes to science, everything matters. One change to the equation could ruin the experiment.
Again, you're a fucking hypocrite. More on this later.
He's right. The tablecloth was red. I remember because it clashed with the font on the menus.
Why would this restaurant have a green menu get red text?
I don't suppose that means we're gonna need to get a new tablecloth, does it?
Oh, most definitely.
Did y'all just forget that you're sitting next to Discord?
One change to the equation could ruin the experiment. Twilight said so herself. Anything stand out as being different? Anything at all?
I wonder what.
A little to the left. No, my left. A little bit more. No, a little more right.
Jesus Christ, this could gotta give a PTSD flashbacks to keep this shit up.
Over to the right. No, a little to the left. Oh, wait, back to the right. Now, a little leftish while staying rightly. Stop. Maybe a few inches to the south. And now a couple centimeters north. Okay. One more smidge meter to the...
Pinkie Pie!
I mean, perfect. The cloud over our table looked like an ice cream sundae. Perfect!
How?
No. This is barely room temperature. Garçon! Garçon, over here.
The one time I agree with Twilight in this episode.
Yeah, Twilight. If you don't get it by now, I don't think you're ever gonna get it.
But it is really important that I figure this out. It's for the good of all Equestria.
Fuck off, but let's keep watching this scene. I still have a bit to say.
Well, perhaps we should have another look at the data we've collected. Of course! There is one last variable that we haven't accounted for.
What?
You!
Me?
You weren't there observing us. No matter how hard we try, we can't possibly recreate our weekend of fun exactly as it happened, because you'll always be watching, and you weren't there.
He makes a good point.
It has only served to prove that moments of levity and bonding between friends simply cannot be recreated so that others might share in the experience.
He makes another good point.
Exactly. Twilight, for the love of fuck, you yourself said...
When it comes to science, everything matters. One change to the equation could ruin the experiment.
Well, you're so caught up in your absolute bullshitty and downright unnecessary attempts to recreate a moment that doesn't even matter to the extremes you're going to not realize that you were the sole thing breaking your own equation. Like, surely even you would realize how fucking hypocritical you're being. God, what the fuck is up with this episode? Why is it so insistent on making Twilight, a main 6 member that I already had mixed feelings about, very noticeably worse and out of character? Fucking hell, we haven't even reached the bulk of my massive complaining spree yet.
Oh, don't worry, darling. I'm sure there'll be plenty of other chances for you to share in the kind of frivolity we had with Discord while you were away.
You think you could have made it a bit easier to tell what Rarity was saying? I straight up had to look at his transcript to figure it out the first time.
Yeah, be just as hysterical.
I'm not buying it. Not for a second. There is definitely something else going on here, Spike.
Or maybe there isn't, and you should just drop this whole thing and admit that you're a little jealous.
Still good at TV sins. This is like, what, the 7th time I made that joke this video? Seriously?
Even if I'm not able to laugh at what happened, I should be able to figure out why they find it funny.
That's not always how that works, Twilight.
Why they think they had this amazing and hilarious time together, but I can't figure it out. It doesn't make sense.
Some things just can't be explained.
This is the 8th time I've made the TV sins joke. I'm near convinced I need to make a counter for it at this point. If we get to 10, I will. Also, Twilight's still addicted to Spike's stomach.
Our friends think something great happened to them while I was away, but no, it was something awful. If we don't break the spell they're under, who knows what terrible things could happen?
Spell?
9th time. Double sin 2 since it's literally back to back within 14 seconds. Also, I'm just convinced Twilight's gone mental at this point. There's no other reasoning left to give. Still addicted to his stomach.
In what way can you tell that they are indeed under a spell?
They're having fun with Discord, that's why.
That doesn't say anything.
A friendship with Discord is truly a shock. But who says it is something that we must block?
Trust me, they would never laugh like that unless something magical was involved. It's not that funny. I know funny.
Spike is me in this scene. Does that count as a 10th TV sins joke? I wouldn't count it.
All right, this potion will break the spell. Then you will be able to tell.
What's even in that bottle? There's literally no spell.
Wait, if that's the potion, then what's brewing in your cauldron?
It ties the room together and emits a warm glow. But if I am to be honest, it's just for show.
Forgot this in this earlier, but how come these 4 seeds have shading on the cutie marks, yet Twilight and Applejack don't seem to get the same treatment? Well, not that I care about Twilight, since she objectively sucks in this episode.
Another map adventure, perhaps? Nope, no glowing tushies here.
We're gonna have fun today. Yes! Just one tiny, minuscule, microscopic thing before fun times. I need every pony to sip this potion to break Discord's spell on you.
Twilight, just how fucking dense are you? Why would you just outright say that you think Discord put a spell on the remaining 5 and expect them to be like, oh, alright, this is normal, and drink the potion? Come on, use your brain, I thought you had one.
What now?
Don't be embarrassed. So what if Discord cast a spell on you so you thought you had a great time, and now you have all these inside jokes that you seem to be constantly laughing at? Don't worry, you didn't have your defenses up. I get it.
Okay, you just know you gotta be speaking absolute bullshit when Fluttershy of all ponies is mad at you. Like, Fluttershy! Of every pony it could have been! That shows ignorance so badly, it's difficult to even comment on it anymore.
You're kidding.
Trust me, Dash, I wish he was.
Twilight, darling, we simply had a nice time with Discord. As I recall, we spent much of yesterday afternoon reenacting it for you.
Uh-huh. Or you reenacted what you thought was fun, but really wasn't because you were under a spell that made you think what happened was fun.
Are you fucking deaf, Twilight? Also, still addicted to Spike.
What kind of fertilizer have you had your nose in, Twilight?
Be honest, the only reason you won't drink the potion is because deep down in your hearts you know there's a chance that Discord has you under his power.
Literally every pony's mad at you. Stop fucking doubling down. Holy shit.
Twilight, how could you say such a thing? I know Discord still makes mistakes sometimes, but you're accusing him of being downright evil.
Again, even Fluttershy is talking down to you. Fluttershy. Take a fucking hint, Twilight.
Yeah! And to top it off, you're accusing us of not being able to tell he was up to something. What do you take us for?
That should be phenomenal at TV Sims. Also, yeah, I feel like it says a lot that the Princess of Friendship isn't trusting her own friends right now.
Yeah! What do you take us for?
Granted a little lighter, even Pinky's talking down to you. Are you fucking serious?
Delicious. Got any more, Twilight?
Why are you fucking smiling? Are you just completely blind to the situation you're in right now?
The gang mentioned we'd all be hanging out together today.
Discord Ex Machina. That bottle should not have any more of the solution left in it.
The gang?
Yeah, the peanut butter hoof gang.
No, it's not.
So much for that whole spell theory.
But it's still not funny.
It's funny if you were there.
But I wasn't there. I wasn't included. Maybe it's my own fault for staying in and having a bookstorecation when I could have been making jokes and memories and having a great time with my friends. But I didn't do that, did I? You all did. You were all there, but... I wasn't there. I missed out.
And we've made it to the part of the episode that I personally hate the most. I genuinely can't point out how absolutely fucking enraged this part had me, even while writing this part of the script. I might have to bring in the rant music clip I had, which I actually don't think I've even used once, so I guess this episode's a perfect candidate.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, boy. You get your goddamn ass.
No, absolutely fucking not. This is easily the worst of Twilight, and I'd be heavily impressed if this show managed to do worse. Words cannot even describe how painfully fucking unjustified this shit is. Especially from Twilight. Isn't she, like, meant to be a kind and respectable character? And no, I do not fucking care that she's upset. What she's upset about is completely fucking arbitrary to start with. I get it, feeling left out can be shitty. I completely understand that and usually would not say against that. But what makes this case specifically bullshitty is the fact that Twilight went to such insane and outright desperate acts to prove what exactly? What the fuck was even her point? What was she trying to prove? That she's a horrible fucking friendship princess who tries to shove that role in everybody's face and still can't even trust her own friends? For fuck's sake! Hell, I still have more. Yes, Twilight, this was entirely your fucking fault. It was in no way a requirement to spend 3 fucking days reshelving books. It is in no fucking way any of the rest of the main 5's fault, and they in no way deserve to get fucking yelled at for something that, again, was not their fault. Hell, they even say multiple times that they intentionally didn't invite you because they didn't want to disturb your bookstorecation. So hell, even they were thinking of you more than I bet you were thinking of them throughout that entire weekend. But wait, there's still more!
And seeing you having all these jokes I wasn't a part of and couldn't understand made me...
Jealous?
No. The Princess of Friendship can't get jealous.
Fuck off with that fucking excuse, you fucking asshole! I've said this earlier, but for fuck's sake, your societal role does not and will never be an excuse to just be a fucking asshole to your friends.
Sure you can, Twilight. And none of us begrudge you for it.
We're sorry if we made you feel left out.
And no, this doesn't make it better. What in the legitimate fuck is up with this show and making characters wrongfully apologize when they don't fucking need to? None of the main 5 have any reason to apologize. Nothing was their fault. What, it's suddenly wrong to have fun with someone else who isn't Twilight? Is Twilight just required by equestrian law to be around in every circumstance? Otherwise, she'll just start whining like a fucking brat for not being included? When it was her decision to lock herself in her fucking castle to reshelve books that did not need reshelving? Like, surely as a self-proclaimed princess of friendship, you'd without a doubt be able to notice the fact that you could be missing out on potential friendship bonding opportunities? Right? And again, I'm still not done. I think the worst thing about this part of the episode is that she doesn't even fucking apologize. Yeah, that's right. Not only do Twilight's fucking friends have to tell her to admit her own feelings, but she never even apologizes for wrongfully lashing out at them. Like, you're fucking kidding, right? You know what? This episode has made me feel mad to a level I don't think any other episode of MLP could. And it convinced me to do something. Make a chart. That's right. This episode was so mentally infuriating that it's literally convinced me to rank every episode of MLP I've done. So, every episode from oldest to newest that I've done, Alice Will That Ends Will, Princess Spike, Dragon Drop, The Ticketmaster, Crusaders of the Lost Mark, Secret of My Exes, The Showstoppers, Accusations, and including this one, that's 9 episodes. Let's just put Alice Where It Ends Well on the chart. Then we have Princess Spike, which I'll place above Alice Where It Ends Well. Don't get me wrong, it's still bad, but not as bad as Alice Where It Ends Well. At least Spike didn't have the chance of literally harming himself. Then we have Dragon Drop, which is just rarely slander. Then The Ticketmaster, which is easily the best episode out of everything I've done, which makes sense. It's a season 1 episode after all. Crusaders of the Lost Mark wasn't horrible, but seriously, Diamond Tiara's Redemption was clumsily handled and should have been its own episode. Then we have Secret of My Exes, which is questionable. I think I'll tie it with Dragon Drop since they both have the exact same problems. Ratings at an all-time low in both of them, and they both suffer from an egregious amount of spirity fuel, which you should already know my opinion on. The Showstoppers is another great season 1 episode of a very minor problem. Accusations was just another shady Spike episode, and guess where this one's going? Yep, right at the bottom. And yes, this confirms what you might be thinking by now. What About Discord is easily the worst MLP episode I've done, and I can see why I didn't make this video 2 years ago. Yep, I was gonna make this Everything Wrong back in 2021. In fact, here's the old intro for it, but I quit working on it due to how much I hated it. And as you can tell, I still fully stand by my opinion 2 years later. This episode sucks, and I feel like that's an extreme understatement. Twilight's at an all-time low here, and in fact, this episode almost completely changed my opinion on her. She's annoying, a shitty friend and princess, and just so much more. Her plain obliviousness is just entirely out of character for her, and I seriously wish this episode just didn't exist. It has literally no reason to. All it does is fucking ruin my thoughts of Twilight, which were already decently low. At this point, I think I've said more than enough. Okay, but seriously, this is in no way your cue to start feeling pathetically forced sympathy after getting yelled at, with, again, no apology. No, I'm not getting over that. Upset, Discord. Happy. Oh, he's upset again.
Jealous?
No, the Princess of Friendship can't get jealous.
This will forever be the worst line that was ever uttered, hell, even written into the show.
Sure you can, Twilight. And none of us begrudge you for it.
We're sorry if we made you feel left out.
I am personally upset that it is Twilight's friends that have to decipher this lesson for her. She can't even admit her own fucking feelings, or even apologize for lashing out. Let's just move on before I get a fucking migraine.
Of course, none of this would have happened if I hadn't encouraged every pony not to invite you this weekend.
They wanted me to be there? And you convinced them to not invite me?
Well, I didn't think that they should interrupt you, but now I see that we should have.
Did Discord just admit to causing this shitty-ass episode to take place? And yes, I get what his motivations were. He didn't want to disturb Twilight's bookstore in the extravaganza, which I don't feel like calling my name anymore. But the way he worded it made it sound like he was intentionally trying to make Twilight mad. Discord, buddy, stop making this episode noticeably worse than it already is. Please.
Oh, I feel just terrible.
You don't look like you feel terrible.
Better?
Wait a minute. You didn't suggest not inviting Twilight because you wanted to make her feel left out, did you?
Of course not. That whole jealousy thing was just a happy accident. Certainly, we can all agree that Princess Twilight learned a valuable lesson here, that even she can have feelings of jealousy. That she should recognize said feelings rather than try to pretend that she doesn't have them. Did I get the tiniest bit of glee out of watching her try to recreate our weekend of fun in the name of science? Oh, most definitely. But what's important here is that it was never my intent to make Twilight feel jealous. That's something the old me would have tried to do.
Even fucking Discord points out the lesson, and even apologizes for his actions. And you mean to tell me Twilight, the so-called Princess of Friendship, couldn't even do that? Give me a fucking break.
Aren't you glad I've changed?
And he ruined it. Just like that. phenomenal.
Aren't you glad I've changed?
Wow, all of a sudden they aren't laughing at the joke they've been laughing at for like 90% of the episode. What fucking point are y'all trying to prove? That this episode can get worse? Because if so, you're proving it very well. Please don't keep it up.
I said, aren't you glad I've changed? Orange! Like the ones at the Applejack farm. I mean, from this weekend. No? Nothing? I thought you'd find this hysterical.
Yes, no. Discord, I think these jokes have run their course.
Fuck off with that shit.
Only way we find them funny now is if you put us all under some kind of spell.
Come on, you'd have to be a complete crazy pony to think he'd do something like that. What are you gonna say next, Pinky? That we'd all have to drink some weird potion to break the spell?
Well, what's so funny?
Come on, Discord. Do we really have to spell it out for you?
Well, I don't get it. Some pony want to tell me what's so hilarious? Any pony? Hello? I'm talking to you. You! And you and you! Well, what's funny about spell? I really don't get it. I'm being left out and I feel really bad about it.
Oh wow, how comically justified, you know, because he and the gang made Twilight feel left out, so not a main six and making Discord feel left out. Ah!
Sorry, buddy. Guess you had to be there.
Spike, not you too! You're supposed to be good in this episode! And no, that ending does not make it better. It's such a fucking slap in the face, like seriously. Fuck this episode and just fuck Twilight in this episode. I don't hate her, but this episode seriously lowered my opinion on her, which was already mixed to begin with. How the fuck do people like this episode?
You're ugly when you lie, Tim! I'm not lying! Then why are you ugly?
This episode just, I would put like those ending conclusions that I usually put in these videos, like, you know, where I just summarize my thoughts in it in like 2 sentences or something. But there's nothing else I can say. I've pretty much said everything that I have to say about this episode already. There's nothing else I could say. I know it's opinions and all, and I can't change that, but I really don't understand how people like this episode. Like, legit, on the poll I did, I think, like, at the time of me taking the screenshot I took for the video, about 80% of people said they loved that episode, which I just cannot understand. Like, how? How does anybody like that episode? Like, fucking hell. Why does it exist? Just, like, genuinely, why the fuck does it exist? It has no reason to exist, and if anything, it just ruins my opinion on Twilight, which again was already low to begin with. I already like, I didn't hate Twilight. In fact, she was just mixed. I didn't care for that much for her. Remember that old quote from the everything wrong with not best gift ever. Everything wrong with the best night ever, which is actually private now because it's just bad and also has an 8-minute joke for some reason. Yeah, anyways, I said in that video that I don't care that much for Twilight. And that still remained true until I rewatched What About Discord, which just honestly critically lowered my opinion. I also remember, if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure the wiki also says that as well, so I can like trace back. But it says that this episode is apparently a parody of a 1990s comedy, I think. Yeah, the title and plot are a parody of the 1991 comedy film What About Bob? Which I I haven't even seen it, and I already feel like that comedy thing did the episode better, or did the idea way better than MLP handled it. Because MLP just completely fucking flanderized Twilight's character traits just to make the episode happen. Okay, yeah, it turned out I don't feel like reading an entire Wikipedia article about the original source, so I'm just gonna assume that it did the plot better. Like, fucking God, man. This episode just reeks. I don't understand how anyone likes this episode. I really don't. Honestly speaking, I don't know if there's a worse episode than this. And if there is, it's either not in season 5 or like any of the seasons I've seen, or I just haven't seen it at all. I mean, man, fuck this episode. Just fuck this episode. I need to stop before I go on another long rant after the script is already done.